Well, happy full moon. I have my moon headband on, got my cool moon shirt on, got my cool moon pants on with cool constellations. I forgot the word for a minute. So, yeah, happy autumn full moon to everyone. Um, Last night I was watching this really cool video show that Linda Moulton Howe did from Earthfiles. For anyone who's not familiar with her, I have followed Linda's work since the inception of her going public. You know, public, big time public. She was basically a field investigator, researcher, and journalist for the news, you know, um, back in the 90s. And before she really got into this. And she actually kind of got into this whole field of ufology and understanding souls and abduction and all of it, the whole host of it, because it literally is all connected with everything else. And you will see that eventually. It is all going to come out so that you can see that all of these dots are connected, and all of it plays into um, the 13 families in the 1% that basically control the world. Um, they have a hand in all of this, and there are dots to connect to it on the board, right? On the forensic board that they have a hand in all of it in one way or another, either to utilize it to their advantage for control in a direct manner, or as working as the opposition and trying to play defense for other things. But either way, it's still to try to continue to have the control. But anyway, Linda Moulton Howe, I was watching this video of hers. It's a really exciting video about the connection between the soul, our soul, and these abductions. So I just want to share a little bit of that with you. If I can do this properly. Yeah, that's it. And make this full screen. There it goes.
Where human experiencers say sperm and eggs are often extracted and implant tracking devices are inserted into the abductees. And remember my recent September 13th and 20th Earthfiles YouTube channel broadcasts were about alien implants and cases of military-ordered surgeries of gums and teeth to look for implanted technologies described by Air Force Base Commander Surgeon as, quote, extraterrestrial technology tracking devices, close quote. In Glimpses of Other Realities, Volume 2, High Strangeness, first released in 1998 and many, many printings since, I have a 106-page chapter entitled, quote, Body Containers and Souls of Light, close quote, in which abductees describe being taken into large rooms with line after line of clear tubes, each containing a living human. Abductee Linda Porter said she was introduced to the extraterrestrial tube because she had been very ill at age 12.
Now, I need to pause that video to interject right here, okay? Because all of those were adults, right? Those were fully grown individuals that were in those containers. And I can explain this. For example, myself, okay, I vividly remember that when I said that I was coming to Earth to help for this great awakening, to help make sure that the nefarious ones don't thwart the next great awakening, and that all souls, all humans will have the opportunity to level up the way that they're supposed to, the way that God intended for them to before the bullshit got in the way. Okay. I remember volunteering to come here for that. And I was an adult. All right. So that body did not die for me to come here. There are various different ways that we can incarnate. So when I incarnated this particular time, I did not die first. My body didn't die. They took my soul out of the body that I had originally before coming here. They put it into a container just like that to keep it safe. They put my soul into a container that could travel through the wormhole that ended up in my mother's womb, my Earth mother that I have here today, present on Earth. God love her. It shot me straight into her, just like how you put the little thing at the bank and shoot it up through the vacuum deal and it goes into the bank. It was just like that. Just like that. I just said, like in a vacuum. Okay. And then boom, I was born. And by the time I could talk, I was telling them, I want to go back home because I don't like the vibes here. I don't like the energy here. I changed my mind, right? I wanted to go back because I vividly remembered it. Now, throughout my life, my family that I left behind to do this mission has come here to visit me. My father's name is Atlas. My sister's name is Alanis. My mother, Zufu, the captain of the ship, so to speak, who's from Arcturus, Boots to be exact. They all come here periodically and have visited me through my life, through my childhood, through my teen years, through my young adult years, through my 20s, 30s, 40s, and present day. Okay. They still visit me on occasion when I need them the most. They are visiting me. When I was a child, it was more frequent because when I was a child, I needed them more. I felt very insecure, but I remember them. And when I would go back with them on occasion to do lessons or get checkups or have something fixed, right? Something healed within me, I would go back to the ship that had my body in that container. Now, for a while, we were allowed to get back in that body for a little bit, similar to what you see in the Avatar movie, right? Where you can go get in that body for a minute. However, many, including myself, were having a lot of difficulty integrating back into the vibration that this human body is in. So they ended that for us. They nixed it. They said, no more. We can't put you back in that body. This is not good. This is not working out good. Which I agree with. That was a good choice. But so in some instances, those bodies that people are seeing in those containers belong to people who are walking, living, breathing human beings right here on this planet right now. Okay. That's the first thing I want you to understand. The second thing is there is a such thing as body snatchers and bad guys. And if they get a hold of those bodies, or if they get a hold of the methods to remove a soul from a vessel, then they can legitimately try to, not legitimately, but like legit, they're stealing it, right? They're straight up stealing a soul. And they do that from time to time too. The thing with stealing the souls, though, is that there has to be some level of free will from the soul. So if you're very depressed, if you're very low vibrational, very low self-esteem, stay strung out on drugs, stay totally drunk all the time, whatever that is, to where you're kind of checking out, right? You just sort of check out, then it makes it easier for them to steal your soul, not just your body. So keep that in mind too. And I'm going to play a little bit more of this video because there's more to be said.
Her heart was serious. He would die early if the ETs did not intervene. Linda was shown how one man in a preservation tube, quote, had his soul lifted up out of his dying body, close quote. Linda Porter described the soul as, quote, about 2.5 feet long, 5 inches wide, and was a breathtaking a very gentle heat surrounded by an orange-colored layer. The soul floated across the room body that looked like the man would have appeared at about 25 years of age. The soul floated above the new body, which was standing upright outside the tube. The soul then descended, entering the body at the top of the back, shoulders and neck, and lower back of the head, down to the area midway between the shoulder blades. The totally and settled in front of the spinal column in the area of the solar plexus, close quote. Feel that they have a soul connection in humans who have abducted them, and some even feel logical avatar for an ET that cannot experience Earth with ET implant removal program. I received this email from a woman who asked to be called only Noel. Quote, I watched the September 13th, 2023 episode about ET removal program. I left a comment wondering what the implants may be for, and you expressed interest about following up with me directly. I saw a UFO in 2000 and have been subject to high strangeness for years. See a foot specialist for a possible foreign object in my doctor had no explanation about what exactly it was. I didn't want surgery, so it was left alone. I've also figures during sleep paralysis and a vivid dream that consisted of a double
Okay. Well, while that's loading, I want to just reiterate how there is confirmation of other people who have seen these bodies in these containers on board of ships, who also have seen the soul moving in and out through the top of the spine at the base of the neck, just as I have. I have seen this transfer happen numerous times within myself and others who are part of what I call my soul family, who came on this mission with me that I knew personally. And we typically will get picked up together simultaneously and taken aboard the ships. And these, like I said, these soul transfers would happen when we were young. They would happen to where, you know, we were put back into our original avatar, if you will. to walk around freely for a while in our own skin, right? Our original skin. Which felt great because, you know, if here you are, this old soul, and you're in this little kid body, and you're limited in what you can do, you're limited in what you can say, so on and so forth, then to be put back into your original body, if you will, the first body, gives you that freedom again, that sense of self again, that groundedness. It gives you a groundedness, essentially. But then being put back into the child body and put back on earth in this lower vibrational field that we're not used to being in from where we were, it's very energetically distressing to have to acclimate into again and again, especially for me. It was a very distressing thing. I come from a much higher vibrational field. And so to be put into this lower vibration is feels weird, feels bad, right? It's like putting on a pair of clothes that don't fit you, they fit somebody else. And so you're not comfortable. You're just never comfortable. You can't bend your elbows all the way. You can't move your shoulders right. You can't sit down right. You can't bend at the knees, you know, whatever. Like it just doesn't feel good. And you don't want to be in those clothes. You want to be in something that fits. And for me, this body did not fit for a very long time until I learned how to raise the vibration of this body. And then I also, in time, learned how to help raise the vibration of this planet. So now it's more accessible to acclimate to for any type of transitions, right? So I'm going to play just a little bit more of this because I want you to hear this Noelle lady's own words in this. And I'm going to share this link with you because you should really just watch this whole entire video. It's absolutely full of great information.
Redlands runs along the 90 miles southeast of Edwards Air Force Base. For reasons unknown, in the year 2011, at age 30, Noelle had several experiences that seemed to be linked to an alien presence focused on Noelle. What stood out to her the most occurred on the night of March 11th, 2011.
I had a dream that night that I was at a supermarket, and then suddenly it looked like the ground was falling beneath me, and I looked down and the whole floor just was falling from under my feet, but I was sort of staying stationary. And then I saw the floor moving further away, and then I realized that it was the whole world that appeared to be like falling away from me, or maybe I thought I was ascending into space. And then I did find myself floating in space, and next to me, I looked over and there was an ET, and it looked like an alien gray, but it was a really bright white. Its skin was bright white, and it was holding my hand. I would say it was about my height, probably about 5 feet, 3 inches, very slim. Leave a message. When I looked at it, I received that possibly the world could end, that this ET was going to help save me from falling with the earth, ending with the earth. And when that dream ended, I woke up. It was morning in my room, and I rolled over in my bed, and to my absolute shock, the ET was there, laying next to me in my bed and staring straight into my face. And it was still glowing white, and it had very large almond-shaped eyes, black eyes. And in that split second, when I was staring at it, it then gave me like another message that I haven't been able to totally understand. But it was something like either my soul was being monitored by the ET in particular, or that possibly my soul will transfer to the ET's body when I pass into the next dimension, or the ET was actually me in the future maybe, and that my human body here on Earth was an avatar for my extraterrestrial soul. There was some connection personally between me and this ET, but I was so startled to see an alien in my bed in the morning that it actually scared me awake again. And I saw that it was still morning and everything in my room, the alien was gone.
And that was March 11th, 2011. And between the date we're speaking now, September 22nd, 2023, have you had a return point in dream or in consciousness of the same gray with the black eyes, with any other telepathic information about your soul being monitored, and perhaps human is the avatar for the ET?
Different house. So when I had that first ET experience, I was living in Pasadena at the time. Now I'm living back in Highlands, California, in a different house, different room. But I was, again, going to sleep. I was laying there, and I just closed my eyes to, like, a vivid vision, almost where, like, you could see through your... And it all looked the same. But there was a black shadow figure floating above my bed. But it wasn't, like, a terrifying one. And it looked about my same size and height. And it was all black. But one thing that I thought that was really strange or interesting was that it appeared to have like a backpack on, and I could just see that in the shadow. That was something that really stood out to me, because most of the time shadow figures, they don't appear to be wearing any type of accessories or anything like that. So that was something that I noted, and maybe it could be its spacesuit or something, but it was strange, and it was floating like off of the ground above my bed. And then it relayed a message to me, again, that my soul was in this body and it needed to stay there. So whatever ailments I was having, I just had to deal with them in order for my soul to operate on this planet. It needed to be in this physical form. And that was basically the message. And then I opened my eyes and it was gone.
The soul.
Now, again, she was told, she was explained to by this, what she calls an ET being that glowed white light, that is her original form, and that she would go back to that body if anything here on Earth happened, like destructions to the Earth, because that's why we're all here. All of us need to be here in this human body on this planet in order to do the things that are necessary to save the planet and to reduce mass casualty this time, as well as not allow for the controllers to be able to hijack the awakening again. And I keep saying again because it is cyclical. It is something that is necessary to happen. However, in our history, every single time that it was due to happen, something else interferes or other beings interfere. And then it doesn't go off without a hitch, so to speak. So we have devised this plan to do this way to assist within the laws of free will and within the law of one that says no outside interaction. So we came inside because it's necessary. In order for you to take your shackles off and to learn your true freedom, this is how it had to happen. Now, I'm very much human. I hurt. I feel pain. I have emotions that I had to learn to control. I bleed just like everyone else, and I'm going to die in this body just like everyone else. Okay? So let's not get that twisted. I'm not that different from anyone else. As a matter of fact, every single human body on this planet, and a lot of animals and plants, have souls from other lifetimes, have had other lifetimes within their soul journey, is the way I should have put it. And all of us are here for this moment culminating. Now, some of us have not evolved as far as others have, but that's the necessity for the higher evolved to be here now to assist, so that the less evolved, less educated, if you will, not from their own doing, just the way it is, can have some real help and get a leg up this time. So in the hopes and compassion for humanity as a whole, and this planet as a whole, being a source planet, being it's not a zoo, it's not a test subject planet. It's a beautiful planet. It's a rare planet that is a great place to come and experience life. Just unfortunately, we've had some, 1%, 13 families that have greatly reduced your ability to enjoy this planet and this life experience. And that's all about to change. It already is. We've already made the first of 3 very big timeline jumps. So there's one more part of this video that I want to share with you. Oh, but also she mentioned, what was it she mentioned? Something about how her soul had to stay in this body to complete her mission. And all of us have this feeling, or a lot of us have this feeling or this calling within us that we have some mission, that we have something important here to do, even if we don't know what that is. I'm one of those beacons that are here to spread my light and spread my word and my wisdom so that you hear that call again to awaken fully to your full potential of who you truly are and the true meaning of knowing thyself. Okay?
helping you to understand right from wrong. Good. That's really how I've come to understand the tall white specifically. The Nordics, the same, except they are different when it comes to who does not have good intentions toward source planet inhabitants, including they are more in charge of policing and keeping the hostile insect species from becoming more of a threat, or any other bad actors for that matter. I was told that the Nordics have always played that role and that they monitor source planets, especially Earth, more than any other species. What you see in the skies, mainly the small metallic orbs or spheres, are atmospheric monitoring devices used exclusively by the Nordic scientists. I have seen that written in intelligence studies and assessments over the years. And everything that David Grush stated is true and factual. What he started will have huge implications once the others, 6 that I know of, come forward in the next couple of months. Your show yesterday, because he was writing this September 21st, so that was the September 20th, a week ago from today's 27th. Your show yesterday, point, and extremely important to insiders that watch your work. Keep it up. It's having an effect of giving insiders the confidence to come out and speak openly about it. Kudos for your hard work, Linda. It's not in vain, I assure you. I hope that's true. I've always only tried to report the truth. And we are now, unfortunately, in a point in the United States where separating out truth from political untruths and everything that is happening to classify reality is depressing, and it makes everything harder. But on that note, because we did run a little long, but I felt this was important enough tonight to do this in depth, I'm going to turn to Ian.
Good evening, Linda. Thank you very much for that report.
When I walk through JPL or the halls of NASA, I know full well that they know what I know. I've been in plenty of meetings with what I consider to be arrogant people, and it really the facts to keep it quiet. The problem is, if it doesn't fit their narrative or agenda, they just listen to facts that are contrary to the public statements they feed to the gullible people who believe NASA is correct. You know, like has been hiding the come clean of aerial phenomena, UAP. Thank David Grush. But I was told directly, environments or heavy atmospheric gases in our planet, biodiversity. The planet TRAPPIST-E, both are source planets. Numbers, one or two to a. The tall whites are like a grandfather. This does not have good
But the Nordics,
intentions.
the majority praying mantis. So scientists, they're incredibly intelligent, but they're all humans at all. We're just meant they have in us is what we can do for them. To be clear, the Nordics, same beings, same race, Pleiadian star systems. They're referring to the Pleiadian, and it's all the same thing. This is my race of people. These are the people that built Atlantis and Lemuria. These are the people that taught humans agriculture and how do you say it? Like the proper drainage systems and stuff. There's a word for it, but it escapes me right now. They taught us reading and writing and the symbolism, the sacred geometry that everyone feels connected to, the crop circle geometries and imageries that people are drawn to and connected to. Also, Pleiadian, that coupled with earth energy and light workers like myself that are effectively putting an imprint upon the planet to help to heal it, raise its vibration, and protect it all at the same time. Or reinstill dipoles where the opposition has turned them off. Now, how does this fit? How does this narrative fit with all of our political worldwide BS? And also, how does it fit with this whole new Earth theory, if you will, that so many, including myself, speak of, and Dolores Cannon? So let me explain. The nefarious ones, and that's how I will refer to them, rather than naming names of the ones working for the true overlords who are here on planet Earth, some of which are here, mainly in concentrated areas near Sweden or Iceland, but or Greenland. They know that this is coming. They know they can't stop it because it's a cyclical event. The Great Awakening is cyclical. The binary star and its system coming toward us is cyclical. And all of these things are culminating all at once. You being able to know yourself and understand your true power and really utilize it and use it helps to save the planet from big cataclysms. Number one, for everyone before the split occurs. And then number two, raises your vibration enough to where your body and your soul together can be in this new scenario or new matrix, if you will, that's a better, more optimal reality to live in, the more we can bring with us to that reality. Now, since they know, the nefarious ones know that this is something that they cannot stop, they're going to do everything in their power to thwart this spiritual awakening, so that they can collect as many souls as possible to stay behind, that they will try to be the overlords of, once again, for when the split occurs between the two. And it's a dimensional split. Okay. If you think of each dimension as a cell or a membrane, it's going to divide. That's what's going to happen. The dimension is going to divide into two different dimensions. And so that's what it means when the Hopi prophecy speaks of the high road and the low road, and choose which road you're going to take. Because this time, there is a plan in place to try to shift as many of us as possible to the higher road to the better way of living, to usher in an age of Aquarius, if you will, without trying to sound new agey, because I hate that bullshit. Because this is very grounded in factual stuff. This is not sci-fi hoopla or kumbaya. But they are trying to keep a stronghold on as much as possible, and they need workers to do their bidding because they aren't equipped to be a creator, basically. They don't know how to do the things that we can do, and we've literally created everything on this planet. I mean, think about it. Everything that you see in this room in my camera view was created first with a thought and then brought into physical form. Now, yes, that's one way to create. There are other ways to create. I have 7 children that I have created that started with a thought and then came into manifested physical form. Intentional manifested form. So we are creators on all levels in all ways. So it is very important for you to at least, at the very minimum, raise your vibration by learning to meditate, learning to ground, learning to clear your chakras, align yourself, move away from chaotic people, places, and things so that your vibratory level within the body is more stable and balanced for this shift that's occurring, because the solar flares, the solar event that will happen, excuse me, and is already happening in increments, is raising and changing the Earth's vibration. So we are symbiotic with the planet and its vibration. So we are also elevating and vibrating higher naturally. But if your soul isn't in tune with the vessel that it's in, then there's going to be a dis-ease within the symbiotic relationship of the body and the soul, which is also why I've been teaching and doing the video segments on learning your psychic ability and understanding the subtle energies of the body and the soul and all of that, because it's very important to educate yourself at this time and to integrate all of that into your daily life. In the scope of things, we don't have a whole lot of time left to achieve this, but I am hopeful. I'm very hopeful at this point that we are achieving this very well. The momentum that has been gained in the last 3 years alone since Corona happened is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Okay. One more thing before I close that I wanted to say. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, so if you do watch Linda Moulton Howe's video that I'm going to share the link for, she's going to talk about several different factions and why aren't they telling us who we are and what's really up with our history and all of that. She deeply, desperately wants to understand why someone doesn't come forward with this, knowing that these earthly changes are happening, are impending for us, that could lead to cataclysmic doom. And the answer to that is that we have dark alliances and we have Earth alliances. We have the Galactic Federation. We have the SSP. There are many factions that are aware of this knowledge that aren't telling it. And there's good people working for these different factions. But these good people know that it's very risky for them in various levels of ways. Very risky for them to come forward and to tell you anything. However, with that being said, there are also enough of them aware of people like me in the world that are hopeful that this message and this truth can get out. Now, I wrote a very long letter to Linda Moulton Howe last night after I watched this video of hers and sent it in an email, because this word needs to get out. This is information. This information that I have is pertinent in such a huge way for humanity at large and for the planet at large and the safety of all, that I should hope that someone out there of a higher ranking, of social visibility, will assist me in getting this message out. This will make the third time now that I have written a letter to Linda Moulton Howe in the last 30 years. And I've never received a reply back from her. I am hopeful this time that she will see the letter and that she will reply. And I ask you, my viewing audience, to participate in assisting me in reaching her and connecting with her in your thoughts, in your goodwill you could send toward it, in writing her a letter if you feel the need to do that as well. I mean, like, whatever way you can put energy into this and help be a catalyst for making this happen so that we can get this word out to everyone. Because I'm telling you, in the last 12, 13 years, I have put together step-by-step instructions on how we can do all of this. And I just don't have the right platform or something to really cast this out as far and wide as it needs to go. So if you can assist in that, then you are doing a great civil service to others, to our community of collective consciousness, to our planet, our Mother Earth, and all of our future generations of Earthlings that have yet to be born. This is a plea to assist, and you can actively participate in this if you so choose. And if you do, I am extremely grateful to you for that on behalf of all of humanity and planet Earth, and on behalf of the Pleiadians, who are our guardians, if you will, of this planet. So I'm going to close there. And I hope you've liked this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe if you haven't already. And for all of my subscribers out there, I am truly, truly dedicated to bringing you every bit of my knowledge so that you can learn to be all that you can be. And I am incredibly grateful to you for listening and having an open mind and embracing the education, because it isn't always easy to learn. Even if the instructions are simple, sometimes the homework is a little tough. And I honor that about you. So until next time, namaste, and be well and be blessed in love and light. Shine bright like a diamond.